What's up guys, Peter here from Reviews on Anything, and in this video we're having a look at some CrossFit shoes. More specifically, these are the REEBOK Crossfit Nano 5 shoes, obviously for your CrossFit enthusiast. They're the 5th iteration of the Nano CrossFit line, and REEBOK claims that this is their best and lightest shoe to date in this particular form factor. Let's put one to the side and see what's what. Now obviously there's a variety of color schemes available to you, so you can be sure to match your CrossFit outfit with these shoes. A look around the shoe shows pretty traditional form, if you like. Nothing too shocking going on there. But there's actually quite a few features built into this shoe. Now the problem with designing and making a CrossFit shoe is versatility. If you've ever seen CrossFit on YouTube or TV or wherever, it involves anything from Olympic weightlifting to sprints, rope climbing and box jumps. So when designing a shoe for CrossFit, it has to pretty much do everything and do everything well. Which is usually a big problem, because products that try to do everything usually end up doing everything sort of semi-mediocre and not excel in anything really. So we're going to see if this shoe actually does a job well there or not at all. The first thing is the stability of the shoe in general. When you can imagine when doing squats or Olympic lifts, you want a lot of stability in your shoe, and actually sort of a rigid platform and a solid platform to lift from. Now REEBOK has done a great job here with a nice stable, especially the back part of the shoe. So you can imagine when you're doing weightlifting or squats, you're pressing through your heel, so this part needs to be able to be stable and yet provide good support in order to get through those lifts. Mission accomplished there. This is nice and strong, nice and solid. It's not as rigid or forceful as an actual weightlifting shoe, but it's actually doing a pretty good job in being providing a stable platform to lift from. So job well done there. Then the top of the shoe is made out of Kevlar. Now this not only improves durability, of course, but it also provides lightness and good ventilation. You can see that the front of the shoe is all mesh. So there's a lot of heat dissipation going on there, and your feet won't overheat, which is nice. The same thing goes here for the flap covering the open part of the shoe. Lots of ventilation going on, so that's nice. The Kevlar also comes in for the stiffness around the heel, which is obviously what you want again during squats or heavy Olympic lifts. You want nice stability around your heels, so you have a good confidence in your shoe and good position to press from. Then let's have a look at the inside of the shoe. You can see, REEBOK CrossFit inside, which is great. The thing I don't like is this flap. Hard to see on camera maybe, but here on the inside it's attached. And this is, I suppose it's leather, so it's stuck. And this is all leather on the inside as well. Hope you can see it properly, but it's not elastic at all, which makes it slightly hard to get into the shoe. You really, there's no, it doesn't go any higher than this, so you have to wiggle your way into the shoe a little bit. Once it's in, no problem there, and it actually adds to the stability of the shoe that it's not elastic, but getting in there is slightly tricky. Now moving from the solid heel cup to the toe area, the toe box, so you will. This is, unlike running shoes for example, this is actually designed in such a way that your toes can move in a natural way that they would like if you would be barefoot. You can imagine that when you're pressing on your feet, your toes get flattened and expand slightly, and if there's no room in the shoe to do that, your toes and your feet will start hurting. Now the front of the shoe is designed in such a way that your toes can actually expand and move around a little bit. So you can imagine when doing jumping movements, box jumps, sprints and so on, it's actually quite nice to have that little bit of extra flexibility in your toe area, so you can actually move your toes and make those movements easier for you without straining the front part of your foot too much. Inside obviously awesome footbed for support. So then we come to the underside of the shoe. As you can see, it's a very varied design here. The front part here is really geared towards sprints and jumps, so you can imagine you get awesome traction here from the meta split, as they call it, which is works together with the wide toe box, so you can get good grip here when you're doing sprints or jumps without having to worry about slipping. Then the back part of the heel, same kind of design, but this is much more condensed. This is not for grip obviously, but this is purely for pressing power and getting a good surface area to push from. Working together with that sole here and with the heel cup in order to make those Olympic lifts and squats easier. Then interestingly, the middle part here is designed especially for rope climbing. You can imagine when you're climbing ropes, you're trying to grip the rope with this part of your foot. And they've actually designed this specifically to grip on things like a rope. So that's actually quite a nice feature that, you know, if rope climbing is part of your workouts and part of your competitions, then this is definitely going to be very helpful in order to get up that rope quicker. And it doesn't really interfere with the rest of the shoe. I found that in general it has a very good contour for doing any kind of runs or sprints. Obviously CrossFit is not geared towards, you know, long distance running, because then you really want a more specific shoe for that. But for short runs and sprints, this is a great design that really allows you to make the transitions easier and to grip with your feet to get that power down. And this really doesn't get in the way with that at all. Then when you do get to a rope climbing exercise, this is great for that extra grip to get up that rope quickly. Now the shoe overall as a shoe, as a performance tool, is great. I really like the lightness of it, and I really like the way they've combined several elements of CrossFit that are you know, most common into one shoe without you know, not doing anything right. I think they've actually hit a pretty decent sweet spot in creating a shoe that is both supportive in the rear for heavy pushes, heavy lifts, is flexible enough in the front to go through jumping, go through sprinting exercises, and actually that has a bottom that allows you to make those sprints, make those runs and jumps, still allow you to do some rope climbing with extra grip and provide that extra solid platform for those heavy Olympic lifts in the back. And I think overall they've really done a good job. The danger of falling into the trap of sort of not doing anything really well and creating a mediocre shoe, they've really not done that. They've created a shoe that excels where it needs to excel. Obviously, you know, you can't compare this to an actual weightlifting shoe. A weightlifting shoe will still be better. An actual running shoe will be better than this shoe. But you know, if you're doing a varied workout, a varied CrossFit workout, there's no time to change shoes all the time, which is not only cumbersome but also just not necessary. And I think this shoe is a great alternative to having, you know, 3 or 4 pairs of shoes all condensed into one shoe. Things I don't like, not too much of a fan of the design. I personally like things that are a bit more understated. It says CrossFit, Forging Elite Fitness, REEBOK CrossFit, more CrossFit. I don't know, that's a bit too much for me. I don't really like that, and I don't really think it's necessary. On the other hand though, it's not making any secrets of what it is. It's a CrossFit shoe, and you know, Reebok is huge in the CrossFit world, so you know, why not go for a shoe that screams CrossFit when it's clearly aimed towards CrossFit. You know, there's a case to be made for that too. But for me personally, like I said, I don't really need all those branding elements on the shoe, to be honest, because for me it's more about the function of the shoe, and especially, you know, during a workout, I don't need to look stylish or good or to remind people that I'm doing CrossFit or whatever. I just want a shoe that is functional, which a shoe really is. So besides the design, job well done Reebok, creating a good shoe that will definitely get you along very well. Not cheap though, will cost you about 130 euros here in Germany. So that's probably going to be the equivalent price in dollars. But for that, you get a good shoe from a good brand that'll, you know, definitely help you through your workouts. This was Peter from Reviews on Anything with a look at the REEBOK CrossFit Nano 5 shoes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!